Hey, what's up, everybody? D Amazing here, bringing you another review. This time of the Space Sheriff Gavan Type G from the Space Squad movie, Space Sheriff Gavan vs. Decker Ranger. Which, if you haven't seen, you probably should. I absolutely love that movie. But I digress. Let's get into it. Anyway, this one is obviously a superior version from the previous release that was just released. Actually, I think now 2 years ago. So I'm gonna compare it to the old one so you can see dimension wise. Like if you saw my review of the first Gavan renewal, you'll see why this one is superior in most ways. But yeah, even if you love the old one, this one is fine too. But people fail to realize like this silver is like really shiny, and what happens on it is that if you look really hard, you can see my own reflection. Which now that I mentioned, I'm pretty sure people are gonna be like, "Ah, you can see him." So yeah, this is him compared to his old version. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but the plating in the leg is different. He seems a bit taller. The proportions from the chest to the shoulder are better. The head is a little larger to actually look like it's a man in a suit and covered in armor. I also left the visor on the head of the one. Also, the hands are way better proportion because the hands on the first release were actually too big for the actual body. I don't know if you guys can see that here, but it's way more proportion better, and it's just something that once you take into consideration, once you look at the new one, you're just like, wow, I don't even need the old one anymore. But this Gavan is absolutely wonderful. It looks great. It is the Geki version, which is the new Gavan Type G, compared to Retsu. And so you actually get the new different mold in the front. So you get the more technologically advanced one. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but even with the visor not, this is the powered down eyes version, you can still see the tint of blue in it, which is really dope. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but it still lights up in that way. The blue mechanics are here. It's really nice. I'm a big Gavan fan, so I absolutely love having these figures. I'm a big Metal Heroes fan in general. The sleek matte black on the back. This is something I really enjoy. So bear with me as I kind of fan over it. So with the updated proportions, we also get better hands. So these actually look better too as well. It's the same on the new Gavan renewal that I showed you. So alternatively, the head wise, you have the head with the eyes lit up for when he activates Laser Blade, or it gets to that moment where they play music in the show, which is really cool. I'm a big fan of this head. You actually get the hands for holding his Laser Blade, which is a new version that you see in the movie. You get the hand for the Laser Z Beam, and you get the hand for when he raises his hand across the Laser Blade. So it's really cool. And you actually get two hands for the Laser Blade, not one. So don't freak out. Now, articulation wise, it's the same as the last Gavan. You use the pull down leg method. There's a rotating thigh piece here as well. On both legs, you actually get the rotating thighs. You can actually pull down. So what you can also do is the legs actually are able to come all the way out because of that. It's really cool. Legs are double jointed as well. So you don't have to worry about, oh, how far back does it go? It actually goes back pretty far. You have full blown ankle pivot, which rotates left and right. And you have toe pivot as well. Also, side note, you may not see it, but if you bought the Cyber Rayon by itself, it also does come with hands for Gavan. So you get the hands for being on the bike as well. You also have bicep swivel, which rotates all the way around. The arm itself rotates all the way around. Nothing is actually hindered on the figure whatsoever. So it's really dope that you can see and do things. Also, the ab crunch actually doesn't go really far, but just like the previous Gavan, what you do is you lift up, you pull up a little, make a twist, you hear a pop, and you get the extra articulation to go forward, which is something I really enjoy. It leaves a terrible, terrible gap. So if you are a man of aesthetic, or man or woman of aesthetics, you won't be pleased by the gap. But if you don't care about it and you're here for the posing and ability to pose, you will actually be just fine. The big difference, not only besides the aesthetics and the body structure, is that this Gavan actually gets a new laser blade. It is one given to him by Retsu in the movie, and it's a really cool new laser blade. It's not the classic one. So the classic one is actually this one, classic laser blade. And this is Geki's new one. I've already tested it, and just so that you can see it, even if you wanted to use the classic laser blade, it still fits. Oop, and I dropped it. Wow. How careless of me. Let me pull up. So as you can see, it can still carry the laser blade just fine. So the laser blade actually comes in 3 different styles for this. You get the normal one. You get the one where he goes laser blade, and it goes up and across. It's a lit up version. It's a nice translucent blue. Really excited for that. And then probably one of my favorite gimmicks that they always do for Gavan. They do the effect part for the Gavan dynamic. And one thing about it that I always double check, and I'm actually going to do it again now on camera, is that I always double check and see if the arm can actually hold up the effect part to carry the weight. And that's something I always worry about with any figure. So one thing I also want to note too that I may have forgotten about is that the previous Gavan also had a problem with the ball joints actually breaking very, very easily, especially thanks to Bill Morrow, because he fixed one in the past for me. But there's no issue with this one, so they easily fixed it. So as you can see, for the Gavan Hyperdynamic, he can actually hold his own effect part without the weight of a stand or anything like that. It actually just holds really well. If you want to do it like this, you can too. It's really nice. So the Gavan can actually hold up with the weight of his own effect part, which is really dope. I'm a huge fan of that. I'm always going to be a fan of that. And I enjoy that Bandai actually looks out for, I guess, properties that they like. So hopefully they start caring about all the other properties as well. But I am really happy to have this Gavan type G renewal. I think it's really dope. And again, if you have not seen the new movie, please go out and see it. I actually tried to post it to my like page, and it will stay there as long as I put the link up. So it'll stay there as long as possible until it's taken down. But yeah, really dope. Now, in terms of height, Gavan is actually a little small compared to other things, and I'm going to show you and compare it. So this is him next to the carb, and I've had them all out today, so that's why I'm using them a lot in reviews, because they're all out. This is him next to the 112 synthetic carb. As you can see, Gavan's pretty small compared to him. This is him next to Kamen Rider Kuga, which he's actually smaller than. So the one thing and one downside about Gavan is that he's actually really small. But if you're actually watching the movies, he's the right height, because Gavan is really, really small, even in the movies. He's like the Tom Cruise of tokusatsu. This is him next to a Marvel Legend. So actually, see, he only gets up to shoulder height. So me and Gavan have something in common. We're both really short. This is him next to a Mezco. So he's actually going to look really tiny compared to Frank. So yeah. So that's something you actually have to worry about when you're doing photos. You don't want to make him look too small, or you want to, so it's a little bit more intimidating for photos, but either way it works out. But yeah, if you aren't a fan of Gavan, it's totally not for you. If you are a big Gavan fan like me, you'll really enjoy this figure. It actually it stands out way more compared to the previous version, and it's something that you really enjoy. Also, if you have the previous version, you can use the laser blade from that one for this one. In the meantime, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed. I hope that you are drinking water. I hope that you are being good. And I hope you enjoy more tokusatsu stuff coming into your feeds on Instagram and on my website. I do appreciate you guys always viewing. And for those who always want to reach out to me and have questions, again, I tell you to email me. It's the easiest way to contact me. There's also IG, which I'll answer when I can. But for the most part, if you don't email me or if you don't contact me via IG, I probably won't see it. It's as simple as that. In the meantime, guys, do drink your water. Be good. Later.